Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we getting on? So, we have a release date for the Fallout 76 beta at long last. We cut that one pretty fine, but there we go. So, we're going to take a look at that. We're going to have a look through the announcement on Bethesda.net. They've also tweeted it out and so on as well. And there's a couple of other things I wanted to touch on before we dive into it as well. So the first one of those, if you've been following, I'm sure you'll have heard recently that Sony has finally relented somewhat on the crossplay issue. So that's coming to Fortnite fairly soon, and obviously that will pave the way for other games too. However, Bethesda have said it will not be coming, at least not anytime soon, to Fallout 76. They said it's not on their radar, and they'll be getting a certain amount of, well, stick for that, shall we say. So I thought I'd chuck my 2 cents in on that, which firstly, the announcement on that came out 2 days ago, I think now. And as we've just found out from the post today, the beta will release in about 3 weeks, I think, and then the full game releases 3 weeks after that. So it's a little bit last minute for Bethesda to be putting crossplay into the game. It's, yeah, if they did do it, it would eat into the time they'd spend making sure the game works properly, which I don't think is something any of us want, really, so that'll be part of the reason they're not doing it. They're also getting some hassle from the fact they've said before that one of the major reasons they can't is that Sony were blocking it. So obviously that's not the issue anymore, but now they've said there are other issues instead. So I suspect those issues were, well, obviously there all along, but yeah, as to what they are, who knows? It's probably something to do with mods, amongst other things. They have said they want to support mods in time, and obviously Sony haven't changed their position on that. So if you've got people playing in the same game on different systems with different mod sets, that's going to cause problems. And other reasons that they haven't specified as well. I'm not a game developer or even remotely familiar with how these things work, but I'd imagine if it was as simple as flicking a switch, they'd have done it a long time ago. So that's my 2 cents. So I think those people who are having a go at the moment, it could probably stand to lay off a bit unless you're part of the development. So the other thing is that there's also been some references to the deal they seem to have done with Microsoft, whatever form that takes in. Seems that's almost certainly a thing, given that Fallout 76 was first announced, first trailer anyway, was shown at E3 on the Xbox conference just before Bethesda's own one. And obviously Xbox are getting access to the beta a little bit before everybody else as well. I suspect one of the major reasons for that is things like the dedicated servers that Bethesda are setting up for Fallout 76. Obviously that's going to be in-house. They're going to have to build that system from the ground up, which will probably be cheaper than hiring somebody else to do it in the long run. But up front that's going to involve considerable cost, so they need to get the money from somewhere, in short. I'd imagine that's at least part of the motivation. It kind of sucks for those of us on PlayStation and PC who've got the brown end of the stick, as it were. But that's the way these things go. They've got to fund it somehow. It's not like we're getting the full release any later, so not ideal for those of us creating content either, because as soon as the beta drops, it'll be free to stream and create content on, and unfortunately, that means those on Xbox get a week's head start, which is slightly irritating, but it is what it is. So, let's jump forward and have a look at the article on Bethesda.net and sort of dissect it a little bit and see what we've got. So, rolling back up again. The release date. The official release date, obviously, November 14th. And we've got the beta. The Break It Early test application will arrive first on Xbox One on Tuesday the 23rd of October, and then a week later for PS4 and PC users, which is Tuesday, October 30th. Wish it wasn't a whole week. Wish it was the same time, really, but it is what it is. I'm sure there are very good reasons. Repeating that down there. One of the primary goals is to stress test and break the game. Worth bearing in mind if you're getting into the beta, if you've got the pre-order and access to that. So the servers are not going to be running 24/7, that's a big point. They're going to be online during targeted timeframes, so we can get as many people as possible playing at the same time to test all the systems and see how they respond. So one of the other advantages, I suspect, to Bethesda of starting Xbox early is that they can control the way they sort of spin things up to make it much easier to find out where the problems are, in theory. So doing these things with a bit more of a controlled scientific approach is probably a good idea if they want to have an effective beta test. The other point behind here, of course, is to reiterate that it is a beta, not an early access thing. So that's why it's limited and only at specific times and so on. The idea is we get in, test it, break it, and they fix it ahead of the 14th of November. So it won't just be rolling right the way through. Although, from the look of things, it is going to run all the way up to the 14th anyway. Awesome picture, it looks very pretty, like it. On any given day, the game might be up for between 4 and 8 hours. That's okay, that means you'll at least be able to catch some of it in most parts of the world, hopefully. I imagine they'll shift around the time frames a bit so people all around the world can get at it as well. That would make sense. So expect crashes, expect limited access, and a general pain in the neck, at least up until release. And yeah, it's probably going to crash sooner or later after release as well. But there we go. This is Bethesda's first attempt at something like this, and it's kind of to be expected that it probably won't go off without a hitch. But they're certainly doing everything they can from the look of this to make sure it goes as well as humanly possible anyway, so that's a good sign. Information available through Fallout Bethesda Studios' Twitters, and the forums, and the Bethesda net, which for some reason I seem to have a hard time saying, apparently. Adventures you experience will be unique, start the same as everyone else within Vault 76 on Reclamation Day. Nothing new there. What is new, however, is this. The official in-game intro, which is presumably what will play when you first load up the game, before you get to the character creation screen and everything. You know, we had the War Never Changes thing at the start of, well, all of the previous Fallout games actually, but there we go. But what I'm not going to do right now is play this video, partly because of copyright, and partly because I'm going to try, with a great force of willpower, to not watch it at all prior to getting into the beta, because I kind of want the full excitement when I actually load up the game, you know? If you guys want to watch it, it's here on Bethesda Net. It's clearly also on YouTube as well, so you can find it there if you do want to watch it. Okay, so we'd like for you to share your own journeys. From the very start of beta, beginning on 23rd of October, you'll be free to stream and talk about your experiences with the rest of the world. So no non-disclosure agreement, rather, which is cool. Kind of expected that, but yeah, it's good to have the confirmation, especially having it from the horse's mouth is good as well, especially for me. And I will, of course, be streaming the living daylights out of it, as well as making videos and so on and so forth, so watch this space. What else have we got? During the beta, you will likely see a glorious array of issues. Many we know about, many we don't. We need your help in getting the game ready for launch and beyond. We think you'll love playing the game as much as we do, and your continued feedback is critical to craft a long-term experience over the years to come. The long-term thing is worth having a quick look at as well, because they have suggested that they don't have a time frame for how long they're going to keep this game going for. Basically, as long as people are playing it, anybody anywhere is what they've implied, then the game will be up, available and working, and they intend to keep producing content and do it as a games for service model and keep doing it for a long time. So that's cool. Where are we? So something I tweeted about recently, because I've seen other people tweeting about it, is wait for the beta to begin. We'll begin showcasing much more of the game in the next few weeks, including tips for multiplayer, wasteland survival, character builds, customization and more, plus gameplay. Cool. Looking forward to seeing more. Lots and lots of gameplay. Even better. Keep an eye on the website and the social media channels for more updates, yada yada yada. Country roads under construction. In preparation for beta, yeah, this is what I was getting at, we have already begun hosting smaller, timed stress tests. These include randomly selected players who are under a non-disclosure agreement and playing in top-secret vaults. Our friends at Vault-Tec deem these tests necessary for readying the servers for players around the world, both for beta and launch. So yeah, there's a few content creators and so on have had access to it, or will have access from this weekend coming up. And they've been tweeting out saying, well, what do you want us to ask? What do you want us to look at? Unfortunately, I'm not one of them, but no surprises there. It's a hard life, I guess. But yeah, so that's what we've heard a little bit of on Twitter, and I've referred to on Twitter as well. Certain people are getting into it, so it's obviously just about ready to hit beta, which is cool. Sounds like they're on schedule. And you can download the T51B Power Armor wallpaper from the intro, which presumably be this thing here, which looks very, very cool. And I don't know, I might download it. So there we go. Basically, that's everything in the notice. So we're looking at the 23rd of October if you're on Xbox, 30th for PlayStation and PC. That's me. I'm actually going to be on PC this time around, although I will make sure it is PS4 friendly, everything I do as well, so should just make content creation a lot easier. Yeah, we have good news and we're going to be getting more. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. Hope you found this helpful. If you did, as always, hit buttons and so on and so forth, drop subs, make sure you're following and got that notification icon hit. Follow me on social media as well, you can find links in the description, and head on over to Twitch and drop me a follow over there if you want to keep up with the streams. They'll be on YouTube as well, but you know, if you prefer Twitch, go for it. For now, that's everything, so thank you very much. I'll be speaking to you all very, very soon.